Okay, order of operations, just like anything else, math problems, when you're problem solving, have a certain order you have to go in. Like think about your morning routine. When you're getting ready for school in the morning, do you put on your shoes and then put on your socks? Or put on your pants and then put on your underwear? No, that's not the right order. It has to go in the right order or things won't work. Same way with math. So if you've looked through your lesson and you've seen purple monkeys dance and sing, or you make up whatever you want your funny saying to be, here's our operations. So we're starting with parentheses. Anything in parentheses, that always comes first. Anything that's in parentheses, you do first. Then these are written together because they're kind of pairs. This one's multiply and divide, because multiply and divide are kind of like brother and sister. They have the same power. Nobody, or like mom and dad, they have the same power. Nobody has more power over the other. So whatever you come to first, that's multiply or divide, that's the one you do first. And then last you do add and subtract. And just like multiply and divide, add and subtract are like equals too. So whichever one you come to first goes first. But all the parentheses first, then all the multiplication and division, then all the addition and subtraction. So let's look at some examples. So here's a problem. I'm going to write my little phrase up here at the top so I won't forget. Parentheses, then multiply and divide, then add and subtract. I don't have any parentheses. So that means I can go to step 2, add, multiply and divide. I've got an add, but I've also got a multiply. So here's my multiply. I'm going to isolate it. 6 times 2 is 12. Now I just go back and get the rest of my problem that I haven't done yet. Bring it down. I've only got one thing left to do now is add. 4 plus 12 is 16. So just one step at a time. Now this is the same problem, except it's got parentheses. Let's see how parentheses would change the problem. So I'm out of room down here to write, so I'm going to write it up here. If I have 4 plus 6 in parentheses and then times 2. I'm going to start at parentheses. That's my first step. 4 plus 6 is 10. Now I'm going to copy down the rest of my problem that I haven't done yet. I've only got one thing left to do. That's multiply. 10 times 2 is 20. So look, the same numbers, but those parentheses make us have different answers. So let's look at a couple more examples. Here's one. Remember, I've got parentheses, then multiply and divide, then add and subtract. I don't have any parentheses, so I can move on to multiply and divide. So I'm starting over here on the left, just like I do when I'm reading. I always start on the left. And I've got to divide. I've got to multiply too, but remember they're equals. You have equal power. So I'm going to start here. 4 divided by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. I've done this part. Copy all the rest. I've got a whole new problem now. Now again, start at the left. I've got a multiply and a divide, but they're equals. So I'm going to do the one that first one I come to. 2 times 15 is 30. So now I've done this part. It's gone. All I've got left is divided by 3. 30 divided by 3 is 10. So one step at a time, following your rules for what goes first. Last example. Remember, parentheses, multiply and divide, add and subtract. I've got parentheses this time, so that has to be my first step. 2 plus 4 is 6. That's gone. Copy the rest of my problem. 6 plus 1/3 times 6. Now I've got add and multiply. Which comes first? Oh, multiply comes before add. So I'm going to have to multiply. That's my next step. 1/3 times 6. I remember that's just repeating 1/3 6 times. So that would be like 6/3. Oh, I know what 6/3 is. 3 goes into 6 2 full times. So that's going to be the same thing as 2 wholes. Now I'm going to go back up here and get the rest of my problem that I haven't done so far. 6 plus 2 wholes makes 8. So remember, parentheses, multiply and divide, whichever comes first, then add and subtract, whichever comes first. Follow the order.